So it becomes a praying mantis?
No.
Damn.
No.
That'd be sweet.
No.
Just pray and then have like a hellstorm of rockets come down out of the sky.
What you are
Yeah.
saying is wrong.
Oh.
I'm offended.
Welcome to the Goomba Stomp Podcast. Oh, jeez. We got Swanson and Tews, and I'm Stephan. How are you guys doing today?
What the hell was that?
What do you mean?
You
What are
okay
you
over
talking
there?
about?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
What do
I
you
don't-
what do you mean?
What do you mean?
What?
Who?
All right, well, let's jump right into it. We got the Borderlands 2 extended review. So I put up a video earlier, or last week, I guess, and I said that we'd get everybody's opinions on Borderlands 2 since we've all played it, except for that guy that's not really on this podcast. So
I don't remember his name. What's his name?
it starts with an L, I think.
Hopper or something?
Heap?
Eventually
Ether?
he'll be on here, but he's not on here this week again. But yeah, so let's get everyone's opinions on this and kind of touch upon the 5 major categories where we rate the game and tell our opinions on how good it was or how bad it was. So what do you guys think? Let's start with Swanson. Talk about some Borderlands 2. Let's talk about the story.
Well, I never played the first one, but I heard the first one had a lot of issues with its story. Like, it was really bland and really uninspired. And in this installment, they have Anthony Birch writing for it, who's from Hey Ash What You Playing fame. So I really liked Hey Ash What You Playing, so I think he's hilarious. And having him write it is quite a gift to me because I think he's just an incredibly funny guy. And so far, from what I've seen of the story, is he's proving that completely. It's been pretty hilarious so far, and I'm only about level 20 or so.
Okay, Tews?
I gotta say, it's definitely a much better improvement on the original Borderlands. The game, the story mode has so much more to offer to it, and it's just hilarious. The character interactions with a lot of these people. So yeah, I gotta say it was a huge step up from the first one. First one was it was decent, I enjoyed it, but this one I just really enjoyed this one much more.
See, to me, the story just, I don't know, I guess I haven't really followed it too much. I didn't play the first one either, so I guess I don't know what people had to deal with in the first one, but the story in this one, I just haven't really gotten a good feel for what the hell is going on. I know you're tracking the guy, but like trying to get a hold of him, and he's funny, but I guess I don't know. There isn't a whole lot of story there that I've seen, or maybe I just haven't been paying attention. I don't know. So to me, it's still, the story seems to take a backseat, which I'm okay with in a game like this. What do you think
it's
about
kind of like an arcadey type game? So I mean, it's not something that you like play for like Oscar written stories.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. What do you think about the sound?
Nah, I mean,
It's
there's
decent.
nothing really too much to like comment on, but there's nothing to complain about.
Yeah, true.
Typical first person shooter sound, I guess. I mean,
It does have great dialogue, though.
the dialogue is fantastic in it. It's written very well. But as far as sound goes, I'd have to say, I mean, typical what you'd expect from a first person game like this. I mean,
Yeah, it
for
doesn't really
this
set
game, the
itself
sound-
apart too much, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not in a bad way either. It's just kind of what you would expect. So I'd agree on that. How about the graphics for this game?
well, the graphics on it, I mean, it's still one of those games too where it's not the graphics you're used to. Like it's not the realism that everyone looks for. The super realistic. It's kind of got like I don't know how to explain the graphics. It's got kind of that cartoony
It's cell
aspect to it.
shaded.
I mean, yeah, exactly. And I actually enjoy that about it. Like
It's
there's
like a
just so many
comic book.
games. Yeah, and there's just so many games that go for that. Oh, let's make it look as real as we possibly can aspect to it. And like, there's absolutely nothing realistic about this game, from the weapons to the graphics. Like everything in this game is just pretty sweet. So I love what they did with the graphics, and I mean it's obviously the same style that they went for with the first game. So I mean that hasn't changed a whole lot other than it's a little bit sharper, looks a little bit nicer. But yeah, I mean I think I definitely like the way that they the route they went with the graphics on this game.
Definitely. What do you think, Swanson?
Kind of the same vein as what Tews thinks. I mean, I really like the cell shaded graphics, personally, especially. I like the style of it. But like the only issues I really have are I've been playing the PC port, and it's still the way they load textures is it really feels like it's a console port. Like they're taking all the shortcuts a console game would take. Like it doesn't feel like a PC game when I play it with the graphics.
Okay. I noticed a lot of texture pop-in issues. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah,
It's awful. It's not like something that ruins the game or ruins the graphics of the game, but I feel like it should be mentioned at least because that's what I said in the review. Is the pop-in textures every time you switch like the customizable stuff, it definitely pops in there. Or you load a new environment or anything. I just notice it all the time that it's very blurry at first, then all of a sudden all the texture comes in. So it's definitely kind of it's more noticeable than a lot of other games. It seems like I don't usually notice that type of stuff, but in this game I noticed it a lot.
It's really noticeable when you just especially when you just come into the game. I think is when it's most noticeable too.
Yeah,
Is when you first like put in the game and start playing it. That it's really noticeable then, but it's not really affected me that much. I mean, as long as I'm doing it in the middle of like while I'm playing the game, I'm fine.
no, the biggest problem I have with it is just like you open up, like the loot chest with ammo, and it's like a really
Yeah.
low res texture for like, it's like a good couple seconds too. It's not like it's just a split second thing.
yeah. It
Yeah, I don't know if I really had that. I've noticed that problem with opening chests and stuff.
I do. It's
Oh,
definitely noticeable.
I guess my TV just sucks.
What about gameplay? Obviously, the most important in a game like this.
Oh, the gameplay, it's fantastic. I mean, it's just there's so much to do with this game. Is the beauty of it is that I mean, yeah, like you guys said, like with the story mode is a little hit or miss. I mean, it's a good story mode, but it's not all about the story mode. But the thing is, they add so many like side missions into it that it really makes the game last, and even the side missions are really fun, like and enjoyable. So I mean, even if you don't enjoy the story as much, there's always the side missions to really fall back on. So the gameplay offers a ton, and like we said before, the dialogue's written really well, so that really makes the gameplay more enjoyable. The weapons in this game are awesome. I mean, and that's the thing too from the original game was I mean there was a huge leaps between weapons. I mean a lot of weapons kind of play the same as far as the categories go, and I mean they really went above and beyond with the differentials in these guns, which I really enjoyed. Like no, it seems like no gun I've picked up has been the same, unless it was the exact same gun, which I haven't even really come across the exact same gun that much.
I've even come across the
So
same gun and it still has like switched around stats in some way.
yeah, exactly. So it's just, and they didn't just like take a gun like all right, we'll make this one blue and red, and that's it. Like they even changed like even not even most of the guns don't even look alike. Like a lot of the guns had different styles to them. They have designs on them, which is crazy. I mean, they went above and beyond when it comes to the weaponry in this game, which yeah, the first game was known for. Well, that's what the first game was known for is having a massive amount of quantity of weapons, like just tons of weapons. And but this time they did it again. I think there's more weapons in this one, and they don't have that level gap with them. Like you can't find one gun in the beginning and all of a sudden that's the only gun that you use the entire game. You constantly find guns that are better that you're going to want to switch out. And that's what's like it's awesome, but it's like at the same time because you're sitting there and you're like, man, this gun looks awesome, but I love this gun, so I don't have room for this gun. So what gun do I drop? Like, and so it makes scavenging so much funner too. So yeah, it definitely brings a huge part of the game to life that I love. So I think the gameplay is excellent, and even just playing with co-op with your friends. I mean, it's always that who's going to get the better gun, and who's going to level up fast, who's going to get the better level ups, and how to level up, and the way they do the skill trees is just awesome too. Like there's no character's the same, and each character is going to have its benefits that the other character doesn't have. So yeah, as far as gameplay goes, I really enjoyed it. I thought they did a fantastic job with it.
I really like the loot feel to it. Like it's like you're playing Diablo or you're playing
Yeah,
an MMO with your friends or just by yourself. Like you're constantly. It's heartbreaking though at times because you'll get like a really nice blue weapon and you'll like have it for a good while and then you find some green weapon that replaces it and it just feels so heartbreaking to see your blue
and
weapon
you're just like,
go.
I don't want this go, but this gun's better. So
Yeah, it's like
almost
this
cry.
gun served me so well for so long, but then you gotta upgrade because they get better as you go. So
Yeah, just start crying.
I really
Tears
like
fall
the
down my
fact that you
face.
can also play as a healer in the game. Was pretty interesting.
Siren,
First
right?
person shooter. Yeah, you can go the healer spec and like your bullets heal your
Well,
teammates.
and that's cool too. Is with the skill trees because they have different categories, and usually I think it's the green one that is usually it helps. It's things that benefits your team co-op. So you play a lot of co-op, then obviously you're going to want to update that tree more than anything else because it helps you and your whole team out, which is also really cool too. So you can just upgrade your character. The special things. So if you play by yourself, whatever, you're probably not going to mess with that tree a whole lot. But they have other options for you to go towards. But if you're playing with a team, they have options that are going to benefit you and your team, which is also a really cool aspect. So it's not all just you running and gunning all the time. It involves teamwork and being able to use each other to lean on. So I think that's a really cool aspect too. That a lot of you still see a lot of games like that these days, where teamwork can be such a key factor in things like that to that magnitude.
definitely, yeah, I really like the diversity in the 4 different classes. I'd like there to be more classes, but I mean, I think what they offer is definitely each one is unique and fun to play as, depending on your personality. Like,
Well, there's a fifth one coming out soon too.
oh, there is a DLC one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Necromancer, I think it is.
Nice, that's pretty cool.
that would be an interesting one too. Yeah,
Definitely. So
and,
yeah, you got
and
your soldier who's kind of the run and gun, your typical first-person shooter type character. Then you got your assassin who's more stealth-based in that regard, since he can go invisible, and more melee-based because he can use his sword, but also he has the sniper ability, etc. Then you have the siren, obviously, that we talked about, who's more magical-based in a way with the phase lock and the healing factor. So she's really nice for that in that regard. And then the Gunzerker, who's just straight up demolition almost. He can just dominate with his weapons because he can use 2 of them at the same time when he uses his power. So yeah, I think there's something there for everybody.
well,
So
you also got
that's
the commando too, so you can't forget that one. And he's got the turret,
I already
which
said him.
you can upgrade. That. Oh, did you say that? Oh, my bad. But yeah, it's just and what's great about the game too is that there's so many different ways to upgrade your character, so it doesn't just come down to the skill tree either. Because you get badass coins and you can buy upgrades for what's that called, the purple stuff,
Iridium.
iridium, yeah, and you can trade that in to upgrade your capacity for weapons or capacity for your backpack and stuff like. So there's more than just trying to update your skill tree. You're also trying to upgrade your shield capacity with badass coins, your maximum health, and like all this other stuff that goes into it. So I mean, it's more than just updating the skill tree, which I think is a pretty cool concept too. Because that skill tree, I mean, that's one thing I noticed in this game was it's so much harder to level up in the other games. It seems to take hours just to level up once, like one level. It's crazy. So it's good that they had other ways of upgrading your character other than just relying on that skill tree. So, and that's, I mean, so I think that too, that gives another aspect into it too, for as far as gameplay goes, is that it's going to last a little longer that way because that way, the longer it takes for you to level up, the more you're going to do to level up, the more it forces you to play other side missions and the story mode and stuff like that.
Yeah, a lot of games have side missions, but they're not nearly as fun as the main story, so you just kind of want to forget about them. They get kind of tedious. I noticed that in this game. It actually has fun stuff that you want to do. There's not really I haven't really done a mission that I just thought was horrible. or this is really boring and tedious, like it's just slapped on just to prolong the game, or whatever reason. It definitely felt like everything was fun to do. Maybe that just speaks to the gameplay itself, that you, even in just a regular mission, you could throw together any mission. It's still fun to play because it's still the game mechanics. So definitely, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, even like the typical like collect 10 bear asses quest you see in like most RPG games, it still feels pretty fun because you get out there and like run and gun all the monsters down and get experience, maybe get a couple cool drops off of them, find a treasure chest.
Yeah, one thing I enjoy too is that it's all new characters, but they bring the old characters from the other games back into this game as people you talk to throughout the game, which I think is a really cool aspect. You don't see people do that a whole lot as far as co-ops go. Usually, if it's someone from the first game, you're playing with them. I mean, it's just because you play as these people as the first game, and then the second game, now you're playing with completely different people, but they still involve the 4 people that you played with the first game, which I thought was a pretty cool concept in itself.
Yeah, it kind of wraps it all together. I didn't play the
Yeah.
first one, like I said, but it's I can appreciate that they would do something like that. It's definitely cool when you grow attached to the first set, kind of like in the best game, or I guess the only game that I can think of that comes to mind where you would kind of think about a cast of characters changing from the first one to the second one is Left 4 Dead, and even then they had to bring out DLC to kind of wrap them together, if I remember. So yeah, it's definitely cool to involve them in the story, for sure. All right, well, let's get into the replay value, which we've kind of already been talking about, but this game just has so much to do. Like, it literally, and I mean, if you take the amount of time, if you wanted to play every single character and try out every skill tree section just to, vary how your character plays and the benefits you get, it would just take forever. It's already seemingly taking forever to level up as it is. It just, to max out everything, and even if they're coming out with a DLC, another class, we're talking like 200 hours at least. Like, that's ridiculous. It's crazy how much replay value there is in here, and it's fun because you can play it with friends, so it's not like it's boring or tedious. You guys can mix it up. People can switch who they want to be. People can be the same person if they want. You can do missions that you didn't do before, explore sections you didn't explore, get more loot. Like, it's just, it feels endless, and I like that about it.
I think one of the greatest things about it too is that coming with the replay value too. It's like you can play with friends, but like let's say that group of people you didn't play with, they hadn't been on for a while, so you can go ahead and play, but they can drop in at any time to what you're doing. So that's awesome too. That that you can drop in and still play with someone who's a level 40 or whatever on complete different missions than you are, and you still be able to join that person and play with that person. I mean, that in itself is a pretty cool aspect too, I think.
Yeah.
Which allows the co-op and the extent of the replay value of a game.
Definitely. What are you thinking, Swanson?
I'm definitely thinking there's going to be a lot of replay value. I mean, I'm already thinking about playing other characters. I mean, I started off playing Siren, and I really like how she has an elemental tree where you can really spec in like to increase the chances of elements appearing on your weapons and just kind of like have it like dotting enemies instead of doing direct damage. And I'm already thinking that Assassin would be really fun, but I'm also thinking that Soldier would be really fun because I mean you basically have like a robotic teammate that you can help. Just you can like throw down your turret and just kind of take cover, get your shields back up while still keeping damage on the enemy.
Yeah, there's just so much to do. Like I said, I didn't even know where to start. Like, usually one character kind of sticks out to me, like, oh, this is a character that fits most to me. Whereas both the Siren and the Assassin, I was kind of bouncing back and forth between which one I wanted to play. And even the Gunzerker and Commando weren't bad. It's just I'm not really the run and gun type. I kind of like the more special powers type characters, so that's why those two called out to me more. But every one of them seems fun, and I'd almost like to play as every single one of them over time to give them a try.
Yeah, I mean, the game has just got hours and hours of replay value. I mean, it's just one of those games that even when you beat it, you didn't beat it. Because there's always an opportunity to go back and play as someone else, or there's probably missions that you didn't play through. And hell, you can even just go around killing everyone. Because it seems like even after you beat a spot, enemies always respawn back to those spots. you can always go back to the same spot and just kill people for the hell of it and find new weapons and upgrades and stuff like that and the class mods and there's always more stuff to unlock in this game. It seems like, and it just to beat the game, go through every character, unlock everything, and beat the game just seems like one of those things that would just take forever. And yeah, it's great. It's definitely worth the money that you spend on it.
Okay, final ratings then. Swanson, what would you give it?
I give it 3 thumbs out of thumbs. I don't know how to rate things.
All right.
It's really good. I recommend it. It's really fun. And if you like first-person shooters, you'll probably like it. If you like RPGs, you'll probably like it. I'll give it 3 quantifiable Yodas out of a sandwich.
Okay. My personal rating on it, I think I'd have to give it a 10 out of 10 just because I enjoyed it so much. I enjoyed the first one. I just enjoyed enjoyed playing this game a ton. I still haven't even gotten halfway through it, so I'd have to give it a 10.
All right, and if you watched the review, I gave it a 9 out of 10 based on basically everything we've just talked about. I thought it was great games. I mentioned a little bit more issues that I didn't really get into here. I thought a little bit more customization would have been nice. Customization on weapons, like just being able to edit them yourself, like the colors on them, changing your own clothes, like having alternate attires, changing the colors yourself so you weren't just picking from pre-made color schemes. It would have been nice to make your own color scheme. Say you want everything to be, translucent orange for some weird reason. You can have that. I don't see why that wouldn't be such a hard thing to implement. Most games have that where you can just change the colors yourself of certain items. So I just think they should have included that and have a few more options with like just customizable accessories to your clothes just to differentiate you from the other characters. And they do have some nice options, especially once you start unlocking more options as the game plays through, which I like. But I just felt like there could have been a little bit more hands-on from us to be able to change these characters.
The biggest thing about that, what Steph was talking about, is that I think an interview with the creator of the game is that they basically just wanted to take what worked well for the first game and not change a whole lot, just the minor things that people complained about it and make those aspects better. So yeah, that's probably why they didn't focus a whole lot on the customizations, is because it's not really what the game was about. It wasn't a big part of the first one either. They did what a lot of companies, I guess, don't really do, is that you see these days and age, everyone's just trying to change things so drastically that it almost ruins the game. They wanted to take what worked well for this first game and just kind of add on to it and make those things better. And that's what they did, and I think they succeeded very well with that goal in mind.
Yeah, and it makes sense. Like I said, it's a minor complaint, but I just felt like there could have been more there.
Yeah.
I did kind of wish they went kind of like the complete character customization, like you could have completely changed how your character looks, like you don't have just 4 bases to customize off of. I kind of wish you had like a character creator.
Yeah, definitely.
However, you could say though too is that the customization has increased from the first game. First game, all you could change was the color. Now they had different heads.
Doesn't make it a lot though.
No, but like I'm saying though too is who knows by Borderlands 3 if they decide to come out with another one.
We might be able to change the shirt color at this rate.
Yep.
Yeah, like I said, it's still a great game and still fun. It's just these little issues are what put it a 9 out of 10, I guess, because I felt like these are things, the texture pop in and the more customization, and I did notice some glitches and the story taking a backseat. That to me could have been a little bit better, but like I said, the game is fun. It's tremendously fun. So that in the end, the gameplay is the most important part about a game, and the replay value, and this has it in spades. So while it stutters a little bit, just tiny little mess ups here or there, it's nothing major. So it's definitely a recommended game from all of us, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I generally hate everything, and I like this game.
All right, well, that about wraps it up for the Borderlands review. Swanson, you told me that you had a game to recommend.
Yeah, there's a game I've been playing lately. It's an indie game that just recently came out, so it doesn't have like a whole lot of presence in like the grand scheme of things. Fuck, cut that out. But I've been playing it. It's called FTL. It stands for Faster Than Light. I don't know if you've seen it at all. I don't think any of you have Steam or anything, so you see like the new games that come out for PC. But it's a kind of like a roguelike game where you have permadeath, where it's more of like an arcade style. Like you don't have like a continuing story. You just play until you die, then you get to start all over again. And it's basically you start off with one ship and you have like the basics of the basics. Like you have a laser and you have like a missile, and you have to flee the ensuing rebel forces because you're part of the dying Federation, and you have to get to your home base so you can turn around and take the fight back to them. And it's really interesting because the layout of the game it looks like, did you ever draw like spaceships when you were little? Like you drew like the little rooms and it had like the layout and like how you'd have your spaceship or whatever? Or was I just the only one?
No, you were the only one.
Well, you have like these rooms and you have your crew members and you have like your basics. Like you have shields, you have lasers, you have engines, pilot controls, door controls, and whatnot. And you have to. It's kind of like the battles. How combat works is you see the enemy and you see their layout, and you have to like plan on what you're gonna attack with what. Like you set like you want to fire your lasers at their shield room so you can take down the shields, and you want to like use missiles because they pierce through shields to take down their evasive system. So you take out the pilot so future attacks can't miss. And the fun thing about the game is it's just punishingly difficult. Like, and it's all completely random. You'll be going along just like everything's fine. Like you have the best shields you can buy, and you have like all these great weapons, and you have like everything set up to take down other enemy ships. And then you get a random encounter where the other team has like a teleporter, and they just teleport like 60 dudes onto your ship and just completely destroy you because you have no defenses for it. And I haven't beaten it yet. I've gotten to the last boss, but I got completely destroyed by the last boss because I had no idea what he was going to do against me. But it's definitely something I'll keep playing, and I recommend buying it. It's only like, I think it's $10 on Steam right now, so it's not like a hugely expensive game, but I think it's well worth the $10 just because it has a really nice arcadey feel. It's something you can just kind of pick up and play. It's something that's gonna like keep you like tied to your computer for hours and hours on end. Like you can just maybe do like a couple battles and just save and quit and come back to it again. So FTL, give them your money if you want to. I think there's a demo or something. Just play it. Maybe you have to pirate it. I'm not gonna condone that.
All right, cool. Let's talk about a little Halo 4. They announced a couple little things leaked out. I guess they didn't really announce it. They posted a few pictures, but they had a little showing of the game out in Europe. So I caught on to a few things and saw a few pictures and videos that leaked out, and they announced Flood Mode, which basically is the new infection. Instead of just having a Spartan turn green when he becomes a zombie, now it's actual Flood. So it's kind of a zombie, or not really zombie. It's Flood from the old games, but it looks kind of zombie-ish. And it's a Spartan body that's been infected by the Flood, so his face is all flooded up, and the arm is one. It almost goes into like a sword, like the Flood arm. It's hard to explain. It almost looks like a crab. It's really it's really weird. But instead of holding a sword now, you have this long claw that you can kill. It's the same thing as a sword, but it's part of your body when you're the Flood. And your screen when you're the Flood is all veiny, and it plays this music. It's really kind of neat. So it's basically, just think Halo mixed with Left 4 Dead almost in that regard. So no longer is playing as a zombie the same as playing as a Spartan. Now they actually have a presentation there set in place to fit for when you're infected, which I think is really cool. So basically you're getting the same thing, but now it looks a lot better, and there's a presentation to it, and it's its own game mode instead of just altered settings in normal custom games like it used to be. So I think that's a cool addition to the game.
Yeah, that sounds really fun. Like I'm really gonna enjoy playing like that, and that's such a cool aspect to really just kind of take it to that level like that. Because that's the only something you haven't seen in the other Halos is that when you play zombie or infection or whatever, yeah, you say the same, so there's not that zombie feel to it, and that's really cool that they went above and beyond in this game to really give you that aspect to it. That's gonna be really enjoyable to play.
Yeah, and I if you're gonna have the game mode, and it's such a popular game mode, why not have just like they did with Griffball and making it its own game mode and with certain settings, etc. Why not have the same thing for Infection, which is just as popular, if not more popular? So, and another thing they announced was the remake map is going to be Valhalla from Halo 3, which I thought when they said it wasn't going to be a small map and it was, I don't know, they gave away a few hints. I had no idea it would be Valhalla. I thought they'd go with a more popular like Halo 2 map that hasn't been remade, such as a Terminal or Waterworks or Relic, Containment, etc. But I think Waterworks is, or not Waterworks, I think Valhalla is pretty fun. I enjoyed it in Halo 3. I enjoyed it in the beta. So it could be better, but it also could be worse. There was worse big team battle maps. Sand Trap, in my opinion, wasn't that fun. It was fun because the elephants, but the actual map design wasn't that great. So I'm excited for Valhalla. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an interesting choice. Like, yeah, it's gonna be cool, but would it be like my number one pick of remade maps? Probably not. But yeah, I still had a lot of fun with it. It'll definitely be interesting to see how they edit it and what they do with it. So, yeah, not my number one pick as far as remade maps go, but hey, that's something. It's better than remaking Isolation or something.
Isolation, yeah. Or Rat's Nest. I never cared for Rat's Nest for a big team battle. They also, one last thing, they introduced another multiplayer vehicle, which is actually called the Mantis. And what it is a mech suit. So now you can walk around in a mech suit. So that's pretty cool. It's on Valhalla. They showed a little footage of it. And I assume it's in the middle of Valhalla off to the side where the mongoose used to be. And yeah, it's just like this green mech suit that's in campaign, but it's also in multiplayer, and you can walk around, and I'm sure it'll move really slow and be like a tank. But I think that's pretty awesome to have, and it fits right in with Halo. So I'm kind of intrigued and interested in how that's gonna play.
Can you make it pray?
No.
So it becomes a praying mantis?
No.
Damn.
No.
That'd be sweet.
No.
Just pray and then have like a hellstorm of rockets come down out of the sky.
What you are saying is wrong.
Oh.
I'm offended.
All right, well, that's about it for the Halo 4 stuff this week. We should be having more stuff as the weeks go on. There is one last thing I would like to mention before we close out the show. Microsoft recently announced, actually just today, that they're doing a My Achievements program where basically it's a rewards program. They already have a rewards program in place. It's not a very good one, but I guess anything's better than nothing. Before it was just for taking surveys and stuff. You got points, or signing up for gold or renewing your gold. You got some Microsoft points to spend, etc. And now basically you're rewarded for your achievements as well. 3,000 through 9,000, you get a special gift during your birthday month, and then 10,000 through 24,999, you get one special gift during your birthday month plus 1% rebate on anything you spend, like on the marketplace. So anything you buy, you'll get 1% of your Microsoft points back, I guess. And then the last tier, which is called Legend, is 25,000 gamer score or higher, and you get 2% back on what you spend, and once again the special gift during your birthday month, which I'm sure the special gift will just be some cheap avatar item, etc. Not saying that they're cheap. Well, they are cheap. They are. I do not care for Microsoft, but it's still cool, I guess, for them to do that. It could add up over time. For somebody that spends a lot of, money on Microsoft points and buying stuff, I guess you'd get a lot of money back. Not a lot of money back, but you get a very small amount to buy something else from them. It's not like you're getting your money back. You're getting some Microsoft points to spend on other crap, so they don't really lose money a whole lot. But it's cool that they do it, I guess. Nintendo sets the standard for reward programs with their Club Nintendo. Even though it's not that great prize-wise, it's still, you feel like you're getting a lot more for what you're buying, I guess. Whereas Microsoft is kind of putting out cheap stuff too, and as far as I know, Sony doesn't have anything. But anyways, I just thought I'd touch upon that because it was just announced, so it's kind of cool that they're doing it. But once again, I don't see it being too useful unless you spend a whole lot of money on it and you have a high achievement count. So, any comments on that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the same boat as you are. I mean, I'm sure your birthday you'll get like a birthday party hat for your avatar or something stupid like that. So, I mean, that's cool of them to do, I guess, but I wouldn't expect a hell of a whole lot from it. It's not like your birthday's gonna come around and, hey, here's 50,000 Microsoft points. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll probably, hey, look at this shiny trinket.
The best you're gonna get is like a sale off some arcade game or something. You're not gonna get anything worth too much. I wouldn't guess, just because.
Hey, here's half a credit.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
So yeah, that's about it for that. It wasn't much to say about it. Just a little thing I'd throw in there, but yeah, and that's it for the show this week. It's gonna kind of be a little bit shorter than normal. We'll have more next week that we want to talk about. But as for this week, that's about it. So you can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/GoombaStomp Show and Facebook.com/Goomba Stomp. No Goomba Stomp Show on that one, just Goomba Stomp. And that's about it for this week, guys. You guys have a great day.
You too.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Take it easy.